I'm Kayla. I also happen to be the owner of Search Fabric Shop, and this is my very first podcast episode of So Let's Talk About It. I have had the idea of a sewing podcast mulling around in my head for far too long, and with the start of a new year and a sew along challenge, which I'll share more about later, I figured this would be the perfect time to just give it a try. My idea for this podcast is to share what I'm working on, what I've created, what I'm learning, things like that. Also, I hope to answer some of your sewing questions. I already do this a lot via email, but I figured this would be a great way to answer some of those more general questions that might help more than just one person. So if you have a question like this, I'm going to add a Google form in the description box where you can just fill it out, ask your question, and I will answer them in the next video. So now that I've shared a little bit about what I hope to accomplish in this podcast, I figure I would share what I'm really excited about this as we start the new year, and that is our season of growth so long. This idea came to me last year as I was starting to work on projects that I didn't really feel comfortable with. I started with the chalk and notch aisle jeans, and it was a learning process. I felt so proud of myself after, and it really just propelled me into the year and made me want to challenge myself more. So I figure if I can help you get out of your comfort zone, maybe just a little bit, then there will be a whole world waiting for you to explore in your sewing practice. Now, this sew along isn't just about trying something new, not necessarily. Maybe it's trying a new fabric. Maybe it's getting out of like that fear mindset and just cutting into the good fabric. Maybe just trying that pattern, making the adjustments for your body. Maybe it's just getting over the hump of those tedious tasks that you always avoid. That's really the idea, is just to get out of your comfort zone, push yourself a little bit, however that looks like for you and where you're at in your sewing. I figured I would share my last project that challenged me greatly and my first project for this sew along. This is, I'm actually wearing it because I wanted to show it off. I worked really hard to create it, and yeah, I want to share it. So this is the Paradise Patterns Rose Raglan. I used a lightweight cotton shirting that dead stock that we got in last fall, maybe end of summer. And I had never sewn flat felled seams before. This was a total first for me, and I didn't really take into account that both sides of the fabric look the same because it's a yarn dyed stripe, and some of my seams turned out to be on the right side instead of the wrong side. And as I move into this season of growth so long, I want to challenge myself to do these things right. I want to figure it out and how to be more confident with sewing flat felled seams and constructing them in the way that they're supposed to be. So I've already gone ahead and I cut out another rose raglan. I added some length to the sleeves because I really want a really long sleeve. So I made a couple of pattern adjustments as well. And I'm going to, again, this fabric is the same on the right and wrong side. I'm using our Parkville linen cotton fabric. It's going to be a wonderful lightweight but crisp shirt. And yeah, I'm hoping I can nail this one and it'll turn out perfect. So that is my first project of this sew along. Then after that, I would like to move into making jeans or real pants with another fly, and perhaps this time with pockets, because the chalk and notch aisle jeans I made last year, I didn't add pockets to for simplicity's sake. So that is my goal for this sewing challenge, and I'm excited to see what everyone else is working on, what you're challenging yourself to accomplish, the lessons you learn. I want to hear it all. Now, we posted the announcement for this so long last week, and I was just reading through some of the blog comments and thought I would share them with you and some of other folks' sewing goals for this challenge. Terry wrote, I'm hopping into January with my first pair of me-made jeans. This is the push I needed to get started. I'm starting with Pamela's Patterns jeans pattern. That's actually one of my goals for this sewing challenge too, and I'm excited to see how you do, Terry. I hope it's a smooth process and you learn a lot. Next, we have Elaine. I am always hesitant to cut into my wools and other more costly fabrics. Yes, that is a hard one. They're precious. You want the garment to turn out perfect. Next is Sue. I have several pants patterns and feel like I might be ready to try one again. Had a bummer one several years ago and walked away from it. I think pants sound like a good idea. I love this because even though you have made a pair, it didn't work out, and finding the courage to try again is growth. Erin, I have had jeans, a Henley, a bag making on my lists for quite a while. I always avoid welt pockets, a zipper fly, and button plackets on garments, but want to take that next step. Yes, this is another great one. It's so easy to avoid the things that we aren't excited about, and some of these construction techniques they challenge us, right? So it's not something that we willingly want to take on in our hobby and in our precious sewing time. So I love this one. And then lastly, we have Melissa, who said, I'm going to try to work with knits. I've only sewn 2 knit garments and neither turned out well. I'm trying a t-shirt and a cardigan. I even got a double needle to try to finish the hems better. I don't have a serger. Wish me luck. I'm also going to try pants again. I've made one pair so far, but wish the fit was different. I'm going to try the chanterelle pants from So Liberated this time. Great goals. I love this one because a lot of sewists start with woven fabrics and they master that, and then knits really feel intimidating. But same can be said for the opposite too. I started off with knits, and then when it came to sewing and fitting wovens, it felt especially challenging. So I hope that your next knit garment turns out well. There's some ideas to get you started in this sewing challenge, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you make, what you're working on, what techniques you're learning, maybe a headspace issue, getting out of your mind and just creating. I'm here for it all. If you want to participate in this sew along, if you want to read more about it and learn how to enter, just head on over to our blog. I'll link that below as well. I guess that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to next week. See you then. So if you want to start sharing some of your project ideas, what you're hoping to take away from this sewing challenge, what you're hoping to explore, just leave me a comment. Let me know you watch this and that you plan to sew along with us.